The Chicago Cubs leaned on one veteran presence a lot this last past year. He provided it not only on the pitching mound, but also behind the scenes too in the dugout. What am I talking about? I'm talking about Jameson Taillon. We got to talk about his 2025 season and ask, can he be as dependable in 2026? Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, your number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs. Listen, I appreciate each and every last one of you guys for tuning in. If this is your first time, hey, welcome. If you are a return listener, appreciate you so much. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. If this is your first time, if you're a repeat, you already know what to do. Get active in those comments. Let me know what you guys are thinking about today's topics. And if you want to join in the conversation, I appreciate everybody on Spotify, X, Apple, Twitch, and wherever else podcasts are heard. Thank you so much for tuning in to Chicago Cubs Central. Remember, this is your number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs. Listen, so we got to talk about Jameson Taillon today because JMO was a dependable piece when healthy for the Chicago Cubs. And I believe, especially towards the end of the year, JMO really began to find his stride. But you know where JMO really excelled? Where he really showed you what he was capable of? In the postseason. My goodness, Jameson Taillon did his thing. Listen, so we're going to talk about how he performed, how he helped stabilize the rotation, and what must he do to keep a level head and perhaps even improve. Everybody says can't teach an old dog new tricks, but could Jameson Taillon even improve in 2026? We'll dive into all of that. So once again, let's look at first and foremost his 2025 season. Let's look at it by the numbers. His record, 11-7. Plain and simple, pretty run-of-the-mill record right there for you. Somebody that's dependable, giving you 11 wins, 7 losses, an ERA of 3.68. Once again, not too shabby. You would like to see that a little bit down more closer towards the twos. But again, like I said, with somebody that dealt with home run ball issues, which we will tackle a little bit later on in this episode, you understand that ERA was actually higher than this at one point. He actually had to work to get that ERA down a little bit. Then you talk about his whip, 1.06, not too bad. 98 strikeouts on the season. His advanced metrics look like this. The average exit velocity allowed 88.7. Pretty run-of-the-mill there. Hard hit allowed 39.7%. And then his barrel percent allowed 8.6. That's a really good number. Jameson Taillon is a candidate to get the ground balls all the time because of the pitch mix that he has. So, like I said, if Jameson Taillon had not been injured, these numbers could have been better, but they also probably could have been a little bit worse. But let's look at what worked for Jameson Taillon. Once again, we talked about it already. The veteran presence of Jameson Taillon on the pitching mound for the Chicago Cubs in that starting rotation, somebody that added just stability to the team. Obviously, you lose Justin Steele for a period. You lose Justin Steele for the season. You lose Shota Imanaga for a period. And then, unfortunately, you end up losing Jameson Taillon for a period. But Jameson Taillon ended up coming back and being able to pitch fairly well for the Chicago Cubs when he did come back. He also was a presence in the locker room, in the clubhouse, somebody that provided leadership to young pitchers like Cade Horton, who just needed somebody to reassure them that they were on the right track. Again, he also had an efficient whip and strikeout totals, which showed that he was effective at limiting damage. Jameson Taillon did a very good job of, not giving up the huge innings. It wasn't, 6 runs in the inning. It wasn't 5 runs in the inning. It might be a 2-run homer. It might be a 1-run homer. But it was never like this big, huge thing where he was like, he just basically blew the game. So, again, his advanced metrics also suggest that he kept hard contact and barrel balls at a respectable rate, which is a good sign for a starter. That, like I said, if you've been watching my review videos of the team for this last past season, you'll notice that I put that in there, those notes in there for each of the pitchers that I reviewed so far. And there's a reason for that, because these are the advanced metrics that help you be able to understand how a pitcher has a good season, how a pitcher has a great season, how a pitcher has a not so great season. And with these advanced metrics, you're able to see exactly what these guys were capable of and what they were not capable of during the season. So, with that being said, I mean, like I said, Jameson Taillon had a very, very good veteran presence. He had very, very good advanced metrics. And again, he once again fit the Chicago Cubs role of needing a right-handed starter with experience. And again, he complimented a very young pitching staff with young arms on there, whether that be at the bullpen. You're looking at somebody like a Danny Palencia. You're looking at, some of the younger guys in that bullpen, like a Porter Hodge also, or you're looking at somebody like a starter such as a Cade Horton. He was there to provide a different mix, a different feel for you, somebody that's been around the mill, pitched for the Pirates, pitched for the Yankees, and then, like I said, found his way to the Chicago Cubs and was able to be here and be a good force for the Cubs. Now, again, for Jameson Taillon, the biggest piece for him is always going to be his availability. You got to be able to pitch. You got to be there to be able to pitch. You got to be healthy to be able to pitch. And Jameson Taillon struggled this year with being able to stay available. He missed 3 weeks at one point. He missed, I think, another 2 weeks at another point. Like I said, he had IL stints. And again, this is something that is important for the Chicago Cubs team going forward. We understand it's a long season, and you're going to have some guys that hit IL for a minute, but the more available you are for the squad, the better. But after these messages, we're actually going to talk about some other inside baseball things that Jameson Taillon can improve on in 2026 and some things I want you guys to look out for.
I have been talking ad nauseum, and I still will continue to talk about the product, the brand that has changed my life and can change yours too. What's that product? It's Dubby. It's an all natural energy supplement that you can take on the daily to help you get through those urges, those moments when you want to nap, then when you hit the cliff, or if you had a long night the night before and need to get through another crazy day of the hustle and bustle, the 9 to 5, whatever you got going on. Dubby is your energy drink. That's right. Not to mention, when you buy a container of Dubby, it actually equals out to almost $1 per drink. You can mix it in with whatever you want, whether that be a juice, whether that be a water, whether that be some type of other energy flavored drink, whatever you want, you can mix Dubby with it and it will do the trick for you. Guys, I don't understand what you're waiting on. Dubby takes care of everything for you. All you have to do is go on to the Dubby website and place your order. And at this time, when you do that, all you have to do is put in Cubs Central Pod 2024. That's right, Cubs Central Pod 2024. And you get 10% off on your Dubby order. That's right. Hey, listen, guys, I'm telling you right now, Jitterless Energy. They have all different types of different flavors for you. Dubby has what you need. Be better with Dubby.
So now that we've talked about Jameson Taillon and the great things that he did this year, let's look at some of the areas of improvement and what he will want to focus on. Now, we know before the 2025 season, Jameson Taillon actually went to a different pitching lab outside of the Chicago Cubs system and got a lot of help. And it showed. Jameson Taillon looked a lot more comfortable on the mound in 2025, and his pitch mix looked a lot better, a lot stronger this year. So he does have some other things that he can work on in the winter of 2025 going into the 2026 season to make himself even better. What's one of those things he can do? Well, his hard hit percent still near 40%. Lowering that further would elevate his profile so much. So again, like I said, the amount of hard hit balls, like I said, it's an advanced metric stat that they use to talk about how hard the ball is hit, and through that they use it to measure how far the ball may go between that and exit velocity. So you want to make sure that that hard hit percentage continues to drop for him. Another thing, durability and consistency. The best ability is availability. Durability and consistency for him. He missed time with a calf strain for the Cubs this last past season. And again, like I said, he also had something else go on with one of his knees, I think. And for Jameson Taillon, staying healthy for a full season is key. I wonder what his numbers would be if Jameson Taillon has stayed healthy for a full season this year for the Chicago Cubs. Another thing with JMO, going deeper into games. If the Cubs expect him to take on a bigger workload, longer outings and fewer bullpen relief exposures are needed. Now, mind you, Jameson Taillon is one of those guys that can give you a quality start, 6 innings of baseball for you. But at the same time, Jameson Taillon, if he gives up a big crooked number or a performance goes awry, he is somebody that can be pulled early. So you want to see more so of the first part mentioned. You want to see him go longer in the games, continue considerable more longer starts. And I feel like towards the end of the season, Jameson Taillon really caught his groove. And there was a couple of games where he went seven, one. I think that one game against Cincinnati that we wasted because we lost because we couldn't even give him one measly run to tie it up. Jameson Taillon took a L in a game, 1-0 against Cincinnati, where the Cubs dropped all four to Cincy, who were still fighting for a playoff spot at that time. But they literally could not give him one run. But Jameson Taillon basically pitched an amazing game that game, and I think he went 8 innings in that game. So again, there is some time where he can't. Well, like I said, I think if there was anything I could say about his durability and consistency is build off the end of 2025 season, JMO, going deeper into games, maximizing his value, and adjusting as hitters adjust. So maximizing his value at this stage of his career, improvement in command is huge. So the walks and first pitch strikes. So Jameson Taillon, guys, is somebody that you want to watch out for in 2026. One thing with him you want to watch out for, he is his first pitch strikes. You like I said, usually if he gets that first pitch into a strike, 9 times out of 10 he's going to end up striking that person out or getting that person out one way or another. But if that first pitch is a ball, somehow it usually ends up setting up for that person to either get a decent hit, get a home run, or take a base. So it's important that we do more first pitch strikes just to set the tone and also get the behind you. And then adjusting as hitters adjust. So hitters adjust throughout the game, guys. Listen, like I keep telling you guys, this is an iPad league now. There's so much technology. These guys are watching at AB after AB, and they are looking at what they did in the last one, what the pitcher did in the last one, how they got out, what they swung at, what they shouldn't have swung at, and they're adjusting on the fly. So if the hitters are adjusting on the fly, how even more important is it for the pitchers to adjust on the fly and to make sure that they have what they need to make sure that, like I said, that they get the outs. So J Mo especially is going to have to do this. It's going to be imperative that he adjust and he get those outs when needed. So that's one of the things that he's going to have to work on also. Again, there's so much tape. But all in all, Jameson Taillon, the biggest question is how does he fit into the Cubs and again the Cubs' bigger picture? So with the Cubs relying more on rotation depth, Taillon's role becomes more significant, not just as a filler, but as a guy they can count on. Can the Chicago Cubs count on Jameson Taillon in 2026? Again, Jameson Taillon, I think, is coming them towards the end of his contract, so it's very important to him that he pitches well too. I think the best for Jameson Taillon is yet to come because I know he's going to want to get another deal, and he'll be due one if he pitches well for the Chicago Cubs in 2026. Build off momentum, man. That version of Jameson Taillon that we saw in the postseason was the guy. He was just locked in. Pitching against the Brewers, pitching against the Padres, he was just locked in both series, and you could tell you were able to hand him the ball, and he went out there and he executed. Um, That's what he was able to give you. So his age and experience gives leadership value for the young pitchers on the staff. I mentioned that at the beginning. His performance affects how the Cubs builds. Remember, if he steps up, they might deploy younger arms less rapidly or trade from depth. If he falters, they may have to go out and seek external help. They may have to go out and make a trade if Jameson Taillon is unable to hold up his end of the bargain. So it's important that he does hold up his end. So my expectation for Jameson Taillon, with the Cubs aiming higher, Taillon has to rise from that solid veteran steward to the difference-making starter to truly boost this team. We are going to be depending on him this season to come through and get big outs, pitch big innings for the Chicago Cubs, and he very well is capable of doing it. We know this. We've seen it from him before. He's very well capable of being able to be that piece for the Chicago Cubs. But it remains to be seen. We'll see. But I want to know from you guys, what's your prediction for Taillon in 2026? 15 plus wins, an ERA under 350, or will his wheels wobble? Will he end up being injured again? We'll just have to see. Which improvement area will be the biggest for you? Is it durability? Is it command? Is it pitch mix? Or is it going deeper into outings? Where do you want to see Jameson Taillon get even better? And if you were the Cubs GM, would you commit to him one more year, or would you extend him now? Would you wait to extend him, or are you talking extension this offseason? Let me know you guys' thoughts. Again, Jameson Taillon delivered an amazing 2025 when he was healthy. When he wasn't healthy, obviously he couldn't do anything about it. But again, we'll see what his 2026 will look like. I expect big things from Jameson Taillon in 2026. I expect him to build off of his 2025 postseason success. Listen, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Chicago Cubs Central. This is your number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs. I'm your host, Mike Jones. Until next time, go Cubs, go. Peace.
Thank you for watching another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, the number one spot for all Chicago Cubs content. Remember to like, share, subscribe for more Cubs content.